In the last video, we saw how to create a single class in as a UML class diagram, and we saw how to create the Singleton class. So here's a class name. It's got one data member, which is a static as you can see over here, it's a static private reference data type that is pointing to Singleton. So there it is, it's static as opposed to an instance data type. We created a constructor which is, that is private. Remember, in Singleton we want the constructor to be private, and we have a clone that's not that's supposed to just throw a clone not supported exception. Doesn't really do anything, not supposed to. And then all the work gets done over here. This is a static data member get object. It's static so that you don't have to instantiate Singleton to call it. This static method itself takes care of instantiating the one single Singleton object that you will have for this application. Okay, so we know how to create a single class at least, and later on we'll look at how to create relationships between classes. So these things like dependencies, generalizations, or inheritance, containment or composition, and other things, self-association, association, aggregation, composition, all those things we'll look at later. In this particular video, what we're going to do is now we're going to make this into something that we can use as a design pattern. So how do you do that? This is specific to visual paradigm. Not all packages that allow you to draw UML diagrams will have these features that we're going to go through in this video. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to use select this class and say stereotypes. Oops, I'm going to move this over a little bit so that you can see all the pop-up menus. Okay, so you go to stereotypes and you say if this doesn't show up, what you'd want to do is go to edit stereotypes. But since, well, I have what I'm looking for, which is PTN members clonable. I think if you don't see this, what you want to do is go to edit stereotypes, and now it's a little hard to see. Alright, but you can slide down in the list of all the different stereotypes, and you want to choose, for example, what we need is this. Put this over to the selected. You say OK, and now you should see this annotation saying that this is PTN members creatable. Okay. Once you do this, what you can do is you have to define this Singleton to be a design pattern. And so what you want to do, is right click and then choose this class and then say define design pattern. So let me go back again. I forget all of these. There's so many options. I forget some of these. So you select the class. If you have more than one class, you want to select all of them. Right click, and then you should see define design pattern. Okay, let me move this into place. And you can leave it to be the default things. It'll go into the singleton.pat file. It'll be called Singleton and so on. And you can save to your workspace or anywhere you want. I already have one set up, a workspace set up, that is, and now I've saved it. Okay, so now what you can do is close this project if you want. I realize you can't see this, unfortunately, so I'm going to choose File and then Close Project. Couldn't make the screen big enough. Do you want to save the project? Yes. And I'm going to start up a new project. Fortunately, though, let me move this so that you can maybe see. Okay, file and new project. I'm going to call this high scores, or I'll call it game. Let's suppose I have a game project. You don't have to type in your name and all that. It's just good practice to do that. And then call it. Okay. Create a blank project. And now I'm going to create a new diagram. It's a UML diagram. It's a class diagram. Alright, I'm going to call it high scores. So the idea is that you want a table of high scores, or I guess it would be some kind of a dictionary type or a map. And what you want to do is store high scores in this class. So now, so you create a new project, you create a class diagram, and then you right click and you say apply class diagram. Oops. Alright, I'm not seeing what I thought I would see. Oh, here it is, utilities, and apply design pattern. And it'll warn you, it says this action cannot be undone. I hope you can see this. And you just say yes. Alright, so now there's a whole bunch of, well, there's 3 design patterns that I've set up. I'm going to use Singleton. And you want to be careful. Don't click on OK just yet. You have to fill out some of these things. So where it says Singleton, you want to, or there's only one class, make sure this is chosen. And where it says Singleton, you want to put in high scores, because the idea is you only want one table of high scores. And the ref can still be ref. The constructor should be called high scores, same thing. So constructor, the name of the class is going to be high scores, so the constructor should be high scores as well. You can use get object, clone, that's all fine. And let's see, now that you've gotten these things all renamed, that's all you've done really. You can say new attribute and say something like list of users. Initial value can be null. Classifier. We want to put in a map. Oh, I think I did the wrong thing. Class list of users should be of type map. Yep. Okay. Initial value. Let's just leave it. Can be null. Should be private. Oh, that's where I messed up. Don't want that. Alright, I did mess up. Name should be list of users. And now I'm blanking on what this means, but let's just leave it. I want the type to be a map. Okay, let's see what I've done. I think I've done something wrong. That's okay. I've created a new list of users, which is of type. I hope it's the right thing. Because you sort of only get one chance to do some of these things. It's always it's hard to guess sometimes. If you do make a mistake, the thing to do would be to restart, because it's just you don't get back to the same options. Alright, so now I want to create a get user or set user, and when you do that, you want to have parameters. You want to add a parameter like a user name, and this should be of type string. Okay. Alright, you got one parameter. Add another one. Score. Type int, let's say. And there's so many options. It's kind of hard to go through all of them right now. So now I have a set user operation with parameters username and score, and then you can do a get user and all of that. Alright, so there's a whole bunch of attributes, and that is data members, two data members. Aha, somehow I messed up. Alright, so this is where I went wrong. This should be of type map. Yeah. It might be that I have to, since I made a mistake way back there, I think I did that on purpose. No. Actually, okay, there's a lot better. So let's say I have a list of users as a map that is a key value pair, the key being, let's say, the name or the score, and the value being the other thing. Okay, so pair of things like this can be a Java util map. I still have my private constructor, my public get object method, which returns a high scores object, a clone, which doesn't do anything, and then a set user method that allows you to enter in a new user. I guess this should be called, really should be called add user. And you can change that. Okay, and you can add so much more to this. So much more than I'm doing right now. You can actually add even add code or parts of code. And then you can create a Java class out of this. But that's the basic idea. So I set up a design, I created a Singleton object, Singleton class, converted it to a design pattern, opened up a brand new project, applied the design pattern to my high scores class, and so you can see all of the stuff that came with Singleton. They're called, it's called something different now, but then I added additional data members, well, one of them, and then an additional method as well. And so now I've specialized this for this particular game application, and now I'm using a Singleton high scores class, so that I want to make sure that there's only one instance of this high scores. Otherwise, people can create all kinds of high scores and put their names in there, take out other people's stuff like that. This way, I make it a little bit more secure. I only have one instance of high scores, and only one way to create it, and you have to use this add user interface, add user method to add users to your high scores table. Okay, so this is a very simple application of the Singleton class.